Hello, and welcome to a new series that I have spent a lot of time actually making, so if you do actually enjoy this, please leave a like down in the comments. This is telling a story through your builds, medieval theme, and let's just get into the time-lapse for the first section of this video. Alrighty, so now that the time-lapse is finished, we have a few buildings here, and this is in a circle on purpose because just wanted to, I just kind of wanted to have this start like in the center where like town square would kind of be. I built a tower just because I wanted to build a tower. I don't know. We have a few variations of houses, and in future episodes we'll probably see more of these just throughout the whole city. So these probably will just keep coming with. I did not do any interiors, really. As you can see here, there's no lighting, there's no like flooring stuff, because I suck at interiors, and I didn't have, I can do interiors, I just don't do them most of the time. I choose not to. So and also the other thing is, this series is more of like telling a story from the outside perspective. So like, as people are walking through the streets, they're experiencing it, and it's like, oh wow, this is like, I'm actually here, like that sort of thing. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for in this series, is more of like as you're walking through the streets, not necessarily as you're walking through the buildings, if that makes sense. Alright, so the first thing that we're actually going to get done here is we're going to put a well, like somewhere here in the middle. I think that's actually right there, the middle block. So we're gonna make ourselves a well. So grab yourself some cobblestone and like the stairs, slabs, walls, like all of that. You'll also want a grindstone, some chains, and what's the other one? Oh, a cauldron. The last three might seem a little unique, but once you see what I do with it, you will understand why I'm using those. So, find your center point. After you've built your town, find the center point and build a square like this. You can also have slabs go out like that, or even do something like this here, where it's kind of more into the ground, but I'm not going to do that here. Grab yourself the walls. You can also make this like wooden fences, and then make this roof out of wood, like spruce or something. I'm just choosing to make this all out of cobblestone, just because I want to. Then place some slabs all around on top of the fence or wall that you decide to do. Stairs in the middle. You'll add a block and then another slab, and then that's just kind of the top. You could also have stairs that go around like that, and that's just another design. I like the slab variant just a little bit better, so I'm going with that. Then once you have that done, go to the middle, and mine is not very deep because it's a super flat world, but you'll want to put the grindstone upside down. So you want to put the grindstone upside down, put a chain or two. You'll want a cauldron down there, and it also might just be better if you make this just a bit of a bigger well. So something like this. That way it actually looks like it's going to dig up water too, and you could also put water here in the middle. So I'm gonna do everything I did here, just moving it slightly because I made it a little bit smaller, and I didn't actually expect it to look so small. So there's a variety of ways that you could do this. I just decided to make it a little bit more I guess bulky as part of the roof. You can see here that there's a, like, more of a circular pattern, I guess you could call it, as part of the roof, and making that wood would actually probably make it look better, but I think this also looks fine as it is. And as you can see here, there's also, like, I filled it in with water. You could do that all the way around up to the level of the cauldron as well, even going to the point of filling the cauldron and then emptying that through glass bottles, something like that, just so that it's showing that it's somewhat full, but it's also not like full of water. Just another extra detail that just adds a little bit more immersiveness. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to just add some more detail stuff just throughout the town. So grab yourself some barrels, spruce for stair slabs, fence gates, and planks and signs as well, and also red and white wool. So the barrels are just an easy detail thing that you can do. So by the side of your houses, you can just add a pile of barrels, something like that, and then just add signs all around. And it's better if you try and make it kind of one cohesive pile, meaning like there's not like a whole lot of parts that stick out kind of like this. So just having a barrel here, barrel there, that sort of thing, because then it'll actually look more uniform and look like it's a bundled up pile of barrels. You can also add signs to the upper barrels if you choose to. I don't know that that would look as good, but you still could do that. Or you could just do one layer and then just have like a barrel here, a barrel there, and a barrel here, and just having all of these be like different orientations is also a decent idea to do. So like that. So you can just add piles of barrels like that throughout the town, have just stuff like this, even if it's just piles of barrels, and then you could have a slab here, there, a slab on top, like that sort of thing. Just kind of making it sort of messy, but also kind of organized. Here, there's actually enough space that you could make a cart, so to speak. So we'll do that really fast. So what we'll do is we'll build 3 fences, or yeah, 3 fences as like the handles. These are kind of like the handles. You'll have that there, and just build out a little bit, and you can even build up even, just to make it seem like it's on big wheels in the back, and the wheels are going to be very big actually, like that. Yeah, so okay, so these are decent wheels here that you could do. So around the wheels, you'll want to make sure that the slabs are like above the wheel, so that it looks like the cart is actually carrying something. So something like that, and that is actually a pretty decent wheel. You could also like fully fence this off and put a horse in there and tie him to a lead or something. Just different ideas that you could do. And then of course don't forget about your other wheel here. It's just going back and forth vertical like that. And then for the final thing is just go around and add signs around the whole cart, and you can also add a barrel or 2 into the cart as well, just to show that it's carrying something. Or you could have like a barrel and hay or things like that. For places like this, having a stair might look better, because then you can still have the cart look, and it's not as weird looking. So you'll have an actually nice looking cart, and yes, it is angled a little bit just because of the wheels. If you wanted to, you could also just have it be lifted up as if it was a horse carrying it. So actually, let's grab a horse and we'll block him off here. But you could have something like this, that way it kind of looks like the horse is carrying it. You could also lift up the cart a little bit, so it's more so that it's the horse carrying it, that sort of thing. And that's actually very easy to make barrel design. That actually doesn't take a lot of resources, and it looks really good. Alright, so we have barrel piles, we've got a cart over here. Another major thing that I would imagine that medieval towns like this, like in their town squares, would have is a market stall. And not just one, but like a lot of market stalls. So these are going to be very simple designs that you can make. And it's probably not best to put it that close to the well, but you could also do it that close if you really wanted to. So for these market stalls, you want to have just kind of like a U shape here. Have fences go up at each corner. You'll want the front ones to go up higher than the back ones. That way it's gonna hold up the tarp that goes over top a little bit better. Then you'll grab red and white wool, sort of like that. Doesn't matter. And you'll go every other layer is going to be red, white, or white, red, depending on how you start it. It doesn't matter, because it's gonna look basically the same. You can also change out either color with a different color of wool. I would recommend keeping with the white theme, but if you wanted to change the white to a different color, you really could. Make sure you grab yourself a spruce trapdoor or some sort of trapdoor as well. That's just for the entryway for these stalls. Here, if you have something like a way to, like the armor stand mod thing, where you can just manipulate how armor stands work, at least in Java, you could make these into stair blocks and then have whatever this vendor decides to be selling just like in these, as if like these were shelves. I don't have access to that mod right now, so a very simple thing that you can do is just grab an item frame, and we'll make this one a food stall. So we'll get apples and carrots and potatoes, and so you could have an item frame here, an item frame here, have carrot or apple, and then you could even have them down here. So carrot, apple, potato, apple, like something like that. And then another fun detail that you can just add, and this is going to be what I'm adding here is just to block the villager from escaping, because you can just add a villager into this. If you don't have any mods for other kinds of NPCs, you can just grab a villager, give them a profession. So this one I would give a composter, so villager with composter. The point is, like, you could just make it functional here while also looking good. What is he doing? What he can't get out. Does he want the stone cutter? What is your problem, sir? I don't know what's going on with him. But basically, what you could be doing here is you could just have villagers in each of these stalls and that sort of thing. And of course you would want to have like a lot of stalls, not just like one, but a stall here. You could make that diagonal if you wanted to. A stall here, like you want stalls all over the place. And another thing, you could also have, hey, he's actually a farmer now. That's crazy. But you could also have like a pile of barrels back here. That's just kind of like each trader's like storage system area thing, like for restocking. So you could actually just have another layer of detail that just adds a little bit more immersion. And already with just these few little things, you can see that this area is looking a whole lot nicer. And with the carts, like this one here, you can make it wider so that it can actually hold more storage. And you can also, you don't have to put it under a building, you could put it somewhere like over here, which in fact I'm going to do. So, and there we go. So, just another variation of a cart. This one's actually a little bit wider too, and this horse is just here with the hay, and he could be here for that villager, he could be here for the house. Like, you can do little things like that throughout, and even just adding market stalls with villagers, that adds a whole lot. Even these little tiny barrel piles, like even something as small as that adds so much to a large build like this. Another thing that you could consider doing just every once in a while is just adding a patch of like mossy cobble into your roads. Something like this. Just not super often, not like the same pattern every time, like mixing it up, of course, just throughout, just occasionally. And you can even mix in just regular cobblestone for this too. It doesn't have to be mossy, so you could have mostly cobble but have like two that are mossy or just to like have a big section of just cobblestone. It's probably better to have more cobblestone than mossy, just because it's less green, and it's a different texture. And actually, that doesn't look as good as I thought it would. See, I'm just freestyling this, so bear in mind, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just freestyling, just for the fun of it. But you could do something like this. I think cobblestone is just a little bit too different from the packed mud. So finding something that would be closer, so maybe like coarse dirt, maybe? Coarse dirt is better, actually. So you could do like patches of coarse dirt that are something like this, and that's actually not too bad. And also another thing, wherever you have horses, you could grab some podzol and just add that underneath, just like, come on, just like this. And then you can have it look like the horse has been there for a little while. And honestly, actually, the coarse dirt looks a lot better than the cobblestone, but you probably could still do some with the cobblestone, maybe if it's just integrated a little bit differently than what I was trying to do. So honestly, just play around with things, like that's all I've been doing with all of this. Is I just play around with things. I used a reference image for houses like these. Oopsies. So I used a reference image, but I didn't have any specific block palette that I wanted to use for everything. And I mean, I kind of did, with like this, with the gradient in the walls, and even that gradient there. Like I did have a palette, but I didn't know exactly what I was doing. Like, even with this first house here, I originally used brick for the roof, and I didn't like the way that it looked, so I switched to mangrove, and I was like, oh wow, that looks a lot better. So, like, playing around with things, like, it doesn't have to be perfect the first time you do it, and that's the key to Minecraft building, is it does not have to be perfect when you first build something. That would be just the small little bit of insight that I would give to everyone watching this right now. Alright, this is the end of the episode. Leave a like if you did enjoy and you want to see more of this. If you also got this far, maybe you like my content, so consider subscribing. I appreciate every subscriber I get, and I really do. It means a lot to me if you decide to. So please consider, and I will see you all next time. Bye!